Cartoonist Ed Piskor blew up the internet on April the 1st, 2024 when he posted a suicide note online and was subsequently reported by Reddit to have deceased, which is not much to go on, but that's all we got right now. The allegations against Ed, aka Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel, came out in the last few days about Ed having sent lewd messages to a female cartoonist who was 17 at the time, which, while not a crime in that state, led to his having an art show being cancelled and the prospect that he wouldn't be able to work in comics anymore after he was basically cancelled by the infamous Whisper network that we all know exists in the comic book industry and in any industry where people do things for each other for favours. Ed's accuser was a comic artist called Molly Dwyer, who seems to have had some sort of axe to grind against Ed, or possibly just thought she could take down a sort of big name in the comic books industry for clout. Molly, or Sid Goblin as she goes by, appears to be also a comic artist of sorts who draws quite disturbed stuff, and while I don't want to draw any conclusions because art is a sort of therapy for some people, it seems like she had her own reasons for doing what she did, because she seems to have announced what had happened several years after the allegations took place. Following Molly's accusations that she put out on social media, several other women apparently came forward to make allegations about Ed making unwanted advances to them when they were quite young, which may or may not be true. Based on these allegations, Ed had an art show cancelled and got attacked on social media by social justice weirdos, which apparently drove him to want to end his life. Ed came from Pittsburgh and had a successful YouTube channel which he ran with a guy called Jim Rugg. Jim Rugg seems to have been one of the first ones who threw Ed under the bus by announcing that he would no longer work together on the YouTube channel as soon as the story broke, without anyone apparently giving Ed a chance to put his side, which he tragically did in a suicide note that appeared on the internet dated April 1st. A number of people reported on the Cancellation story, including Ethan Van Sciver's Comic Artist Pro Secrets YouTube channel. Ethan perhaps is someone who feels qualified to talk on the subject, having been cancelled from the comic book industry himself. He had to go into crowdfunding and selling his books on YouTube. The crime that got Ethan removed from DC Comics, incidentally, was announcing that he had voted for Donald Trump. Ed defended himself after he was attacked by moralists and weirdos and basically said he did nothing wrong, which legally was true, although he did have reporter Marcy Cipriani from WTAE Pittsburgh News show up on his elderly dad's doorstep to ask questions on TV, which undoubtedly helped push poor Ed over the edge. It will be interesting to see if the mainstream takes any responsibility for this, because they're always trying to shut down the internet every time it has literally anything to do with anything. As I said at the start, the reports of Ed's sad demise currently mostly seem to come from Reddit, which does leave open some questions, particularly as it happened on April 1st. If Ed did not, in fact, end himself, it would have to go down as one of the greatest trolls of all time. If he did, we can expect the fallout to drag on for a long time, and the cancel pigs are already trying to cancel other people for literally any reason they can find in order to try to profit off this tragedy, if that is indeed what it is.